Hello everyone reading this article. As you can already see from the name of this text, I'm going to tell you a story about what happened to me. This year is my second year at university. Since I live too far away from it, I'm living in a dormitory. I have 2 roommates and we get along really well. And here we are, slowly getting into the main problem. The second roommate came to our room later in the semester. One day, at the beginning of October, I came to our room and he was suddenly there. He was sleeping in his bed, and when he woke up, he saw me and smiled. We introduced ourselves, and that's when I thought a spark happened between us. During the first 2 weeks, we talked about a lot of things. He was always smiling when we talked. I thought maybe he didn't understand what I was saying since he's a foreigner living in the same country as I do, but that wasn't true. He speaks my mother tongue perfectly. His family moved here a few years ago. Later, he even told me about his family background, overshared a lot of traumatic experiences from his life, told me about how he came out to his parents, about his ex-partners, and shared many other things. We got along really well. I would even say we had a strong connection. We would have long, hours-long discussions about anything. During one discussion, he even called me Papi, and then we burst out laughing and laughed about it for a while. He even made me a certificate for oversharing. When we weren't together in person, we would text each other daily and quite a lot. About 2 weeks ago, I started to flirt with him gently. I even tried to make physical contact with him. I tried to fix his hairstyle after he came out of the shower and he let me. I started to touch his shoulder and so on more often. Last week, I even called him a cutie a few times. Last weekend, he sent me drunk voice messages. I was already asleep by then. He was telling me who would save him if something happened to him. And he said something in his mother tongue, which I didn't understand. But he said I did, LOL. He ended up sending me 5 drunk voice messages. I was supposed to come back to the city where my university is on Monday this week. But since our teachers didn't give us any lessons on Monday, I decided to come on Tuesday. I texted him about it and said I'd come on Tuesday. He wanted me to come on Monday afternoon. Since I was not feeling well and the trip to the dormitory takes around 2 hours and 30 minutes, I decided to stay at home and go on Tuesday. On Monday, we texted a lot. I went to sleep, and when I woke up on Tuesday, he wrote that he went out with a guy. I asked him if it was a date, and his response was something like that. I was devastated at that moment. I thought I was the one he liked. When I came back to our dorm room after school, I was quiet. He came back around 2 hours after me and immediately sensed something was wrong. He asked me what was up. I didn't know how to say it, but eventually I told him I thought there could be something between us. He didn't respond. He just looked at me for a few seconds and then started doing his homework. Since this was his response, I decided not to talk to him the whole day. Then I suddenly woke up at midnight and decided to confront him about it. I told him that since we had talked about a lot of personal things you wouldn't share with just anyone, and since he acted the way he did, I thought he liked me too. He told me something about trauma bonds, not entirely sure what he meant. Then I said I'm probably not his type. He just said yes. Nothing more, nothing less. I then said that I probably don't attract him physically. He said probably not. I was asking myself, probably not. What does that mean? I'm lost. We even talked about his potential boyfriend. It turns out they had another date yesterday. Since he did what he did, I decided to ignore him. Not because I hate him or anything, but because I want to protect myself and let go of this situation. At the moment, I feel miserable and a bit heartbroken about this whole thing. His recent actions have been quite strange, so I'd like to ask you, wise Reddit experts, what do you think about this whole situation? What should I do? Should I do something? Should I wait for him to do something? I need help. TLDR. I thought that my roommate wanted a relationship with me. He said no. However, his acts say something different. Help, please.